Hello, I'm Dori Nando. You can catch up with all the fun on the Cosmopolitan Mix and on all our shows via podcast. Just go to My Joy Online podcast and search for your favorite show and relive those moments all over again. Only on Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
The newly inaugurated board chairman of the DVLA, Frank Herbert Davis, has promised to work diligently with members in dealing with road accidents, among other mandates given them as a board. He has also urged the Transport Minister to consider an increment in the percentage of the road fund to help improve the country's road infrastructure. He describes the current 15% allocated the board as insufficient in achieving the mandate. He spoke following the board's inauguration last Friday.
I can assure the Honourable Minister, and by extension that goes also to his boss, the President, that we don't take this repost of confidence lightly. We will discharge our duties with diligence, forthrightness, integrity, and above all, fidelity, do the right things all the time. Mr. Minister, whilst commending you for the tremendous support you have given us over the years, I wish to make a humble plea. You have been in the forefront and in the gutters in course with us in our fight, also in quotes with the Ministry of Finance for the percentage share of revenue due to the DVLA. By his divine grace and favor, we now have 100% share of the government of Ghana funds available to the DVLA. We now plead, most especially with you, Honourable Minister, to look into the road fund for us. Our percentage still stands at 15%.
Director of Planning and Programs at the National Road Safety Authority, David Adonting, is optimistic, however, increasing the 15% road fund allocation to the new DVLA board will greatly make a difference in tackling accidents on Ghana's roads.
The board, the governing boards of the DVLA and the National Road Safety Authority, among others, were inaugurated by the Honourable Minister for Transport, and we were all part of it. And we were excited because it's been the whole year we've been operating without a board. Of course, the Minister did well in his own wisdom to set up a certain oversight committee, a 4-man oversight committee which supported us at governance level to where we are now. Now having a substantive board, governing board, I think that it's time for us to do some things that we were unable to do bigger, and so on. And so we are excited. We thank the Minister and government for bringing us this far. And as the Minister just said, now you know the authority dispensation, we need to do more. But our ally is on its way to Parliament for them to pass the content of which will operationalize the NRSA Act 993 of 2019. And I think it's one very big step that I expect that the presence of the inauguration of the governance board will push that agenda, supporting the minister to get it passed by Parliament so quickly, so that we can, deliver on the content of the LI and the Act. I know the minister's vision is to have a very vibrant, vociferous, and strong, effective road safety of the organization, lead agency, well-resourced, equipped adequately to advocate for change, education, and then, more importantly, ensure compliance of road safety standards and regulations.
Right.
So I think that it's a very bold step and a very good step at the same.
Now that you speak of that very good step, what exactly is the novelty with the inauguration of this new board? What should we be expecting to see emanate from, the inauguration of the board?
I think that the number of the board has been cut down. Used to be about 20, indeed. Ghana, it happens to be one of the biggest in Ghana. Now dropped down to 13. And the good thing is that it's a mix of expertise. We have professionals who have been nominated and now inaugurated to lead the organization. We have people with media background, Dr. KEJETIA, which you know, the representative of the GJA. We have the National Commission on National Media Commission. We have the Ghana Education Service coming from the Ministry of Education. We have also the National Insurance, insurance industry represented by Ghana Insurance Association, and we have the police. Director General of MTPD also in there. And we have DVL also represented. We have the Attorney General also represented. So you could see that it's a pack of expertise, people with professional backgrounds of variety who have come to play. And so I think that what we need as an institution indeed is that collective of that expertise, because it's a multidisciplinary packed program that we are running. We are running something in infrastructure and in education.
Now, experts have emphasized the need to revisit the conversation around comprehensive sexuality education as a measure to reduce gender-based violence and teenage pregnancies. The call comes on the back of increasing cases of girls returning to school pregnant. Sociologist at the University of Ghana, Professor Akosua Dakwa, believes the lack of sex education could also be blamed for the phenomenon. She is therefore calling for a change in attitude towards discussing sexual matters with adolescents, which she is optimistic could contribute to changing the narrative. She spoke on Newsfile on Saturday.
Okay, so there are a number of ways to think about how we address this. One is prevention, one is protection, right? On the issue of prevention, I really don't think we are doing anywhere near enough. We are burying our heads in the sand. Last year, there was a huge discussion in this country about comprehensive sexuality education. And we kicked against it on the assumption that if we talk about sex, the children will have sex. And then all hell will break loose. The fact of the matter is the sex is being had. So we need to have conversations with both our young men and our young women. Our children need to understand their bodies fully and understand the risks and dangers and be able to talk to adults in their lives when this is happening. If teachers have a comfortable environment that they set up in the classroom, a child can come up to you and say, if my father says this, what does it mean? And you can respond in a non-judgmental manner so that the child feels comfortable. We cannot continue in an environment where if you ask a question about sex, you're a bad person. I am an adult, I'm a parent. This is not a conversation that is necessarily easy to have, but it is one that we need to have. If you are asked, you have to answer the question. You cannot skirt it. You cannot beat about the bush. We need to be having these conversations in our homes, in our schools, in our religious institutions, on radio. Our children need to be educated. They need to know their rights. They need to know and understand their bodies. They need to know and understand where they can go for support if they need the support. So that's what I would say on the prevention.
So that's the prevention side.
And I hope this will not just be something that gets said here and that's it, but that those of you in the media houses, those of us who have the power to revisit this conversation, we need to come back to it. Our children need education about sexuality.
Well, also on the same show, Director of the Domestic Violence and Victims Support Unit, Chief Superintendent Owusua Treme, said medical officers must report cases of defilement to the police to enable victims get redress and to ensure that perpetrators are prosecuted.
Those who report under the law, the health provider is mandated by the law to report. So anytime a victim of defilement or sexual assault walks to the health service provider, he or she, whoever attends to her, must report to the police. So if the health providers were reporting to us, then it will show, it will get a true reflection of the actual statistics on the ground, at least for those who report to the providers. So we encourage our various health providers. I mean, if you look at Section 6, filing of under the Domestic Violence Act, Section 6, filing of complaints with police. We have different people who can report to the police when they suspect any form of domestic violence and all that. And so health providers are mandated under the law to report to the police on any case of domestic violence, and sexual assault obviously is under the domestic violence. So we encourage service providers, doctors, nurses, health facilities that these children visit, they should kindly report to us. It's just a matter of just getting the contact person of either the DOFSU officer there, or the district officer, or the divisional commander, or the chief inspector at the district, and calling the person. You don't need to move. You don't need to go to the police station. Just call the person and say, you know what, we have this case that has been reported. A child 14 years is pregnant. She is at our facility. Then we will come there and then start the process with you. So people don't have to worry that they have to go to the police to do that report.
Now, doctors treating children with cancers say they are concerned about the increasing number of cases in the country. More than 1,200 children under the age of 15 are estimated to develop cancer in Ghana each year. Mamiesi Thompson visited the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and here's her report.
10-year-old Bright had come with his aunt for follow-up checks at the oncology daycare unit, following a removal of one of his kidneys. In 2019, he was diagnosed with Wilms tumor, a cancer that attacks the kidney.
I went to some human house, but then I was not wearing dress. Then they didn't. Then the woman saw it. Then they say, then he called my father. Then my father come and saw it. Then they say we should go to Tamari. We come to Tamari. They say they can't treat us. Then they send us to here.
Shortly after he was referred to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, his father died, and his mother abandoned him in the care of his auntie, Blessing.
We were there when we realized that one side of the abdomen, the left part, it was like a boil on it. And my mom and dad decided it's just for herbal treatment, local treatment. And they sent him to the herbal. When they sent him, he was there. They've tried their best, but it couldn't work. When he returned back home, if he's going to urinate, you see that it's blood. That was the time my mom and my dad decided that where it has gotten to is not for just local treatment. They have to go for medical to check and see what is going on. When we got here, we followed the procedure. They started the treatment. Everything, it was fine. We went through the surgery. It was fine. We went for radiotherapy, it was okay. And we finished our treatment. That was on last year, December.
Bright is among 1,200 children who develop the condition in Ghana every year. At the oncology department, another child, 13-year-old Gabriel, is battling leukemia. In a matter of a year, he had undergone several tests, chemotherapy, and dropped out of school.
They do operation on my ear, and they took the tinsam. They took him to pathology. Then they tested. They started giving me the medicine. Then the thing gone. They say that if I finish the treatment before I'll go to school again. Yes.
When you don't go to school, how does it make you feel?
It's paining me. I feel like I should go to school.
6 weeks after Abna Nyamiche delivered Adepa, she noticed her eyes were jaundiced and quickly sought medical care. Adepa was later diagnosed with retinoblastoma, a cancer of the eye. At 6 weeks, I realized she had something yellowish on her left eye, and so I brought her quickly to Kolebu. It was there that she was diagnosed of eye cancer. She had her first surgery at 2.5 months old. Now, her left eye has been removed and she's okay.
And I'm here surgery. Yeah, surgery now 2.5 months.
You're watching Joy News today. Stay with us. We've got a lot more coming up.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Traders occupying a section of the Kumasi Central Market have voluntarily removed their wares from their shops after an initial resistance. Construction firm contractor working on the KEJETIA redevelopment projects requested a portion for construction of a drainage system, but the traders claimed the city authorities had not given them space for their relocation. There's more in this report.
Ahead of the demolition exercise, stakeholders inspected shops to check if traders are still keeping their goods there. Most merchandise had been removed as some carried out last-minute search for any valuable left behind. This trader calls on city authorities to help. According to her, she is sending her goods home.
They said, "Mimi too, me the name I could be should the I'll be at the empty. I could go fee to a madam, my slow. The
KMA says traders are being relocated to the Efia Kobi and racecourse markets. Efia Konedu speaks for the assembly.
We are taking them basically to racecourse and Avinci. Yes, that's where they are taking them to. If you were, as at yesterday, most of the headship or the queens were at racecourse markets, and they were shown where they were going to ply their trade. Those who deal in tomatoes, plantain, yam, and others to have been given a space, of which they asked for that they want an open space. So if you go there, you realize that we put chippings and others on that space for them, so that they, the leaders or the market queens, will share it among the members.
Meanwhile, contractor is enthused with the traders' voluntary evacuation. Consultant Emmanuel Danso says the firm is assisting traders with vehicles for the relocation.
Traders have already vacated with the help of their executives. Contractor has supported them with trucks and equipment, at least wherever they want to go. We've given them that support.
They are also working on a site at Racecourse as part of corporate social responsibility. The contractors are currently working on 80% of total land size of the market. Nana Auku's report read to you.
Now, after years of unemployment, young Belinda Winnie pushed herself to start a bakery from limited capital. Unable to afford a modern oven, she resorted to the use of traditional technology that combines fine sand in a pan with heat beneath to bake. Nanaya Aljima visited the bakery set up on a veranda and filed this report.
Fine sand fills the lower part of a steel pan. An oven rail is placed in the sand to give balance to baking tins set up in the pan. A lid covers the pan and napkins are used to cover all openings of the lid, making it airtight. Under heat, baking takes place in this improvised oven. Belinda Awuni explains the process.
When I went out and then take the sand, I have to sit down and remove all the dirt inside the sand before I would put it inside a pan or a pot. Let's take oven for instance, because when you put your cakes inside or your pastries inside, there is no hole that air can pass through. So I have to make sure that I will cover all the lid with a napkin so that the heat can, help to bake it faster for me.
With this technology, the startup baker has been in business for 4 months. Belinda sometimes resorts to friends in the business to make use of their ovens when she has bigger orders. The idea of an improvised oven was hatched after a conversation with her mother.
One day when I closed from work, I was lying down there and I don't know what to do. I don't have oven, so what should I do? If someone called me to give me order, I give to someone. I said no. My mom said this and that, and then I tried and it worked.
Though baking has been an interest of Belinda, it took the SOS Children Village Ghana's project, implemented through No Business as Usual, to get her the training needed to go professional. To aid the business, Belinda has received an oven to complement the improvised sand oven for the business. Project coordinator Roberta Aite explains the impact of the program on developing young entrepreneurs.
For those who are interested in starting their own businesses, we realize that most of them did not have the skills they need to actually start the businesses they wanted. So somebody has a lot of interest in fashion and design or makeup, but the person doesn't have the skill needed. So that is where the component of hard skills training came in. And so to that effect, we had about 230 youths that we supported on the hard skills training. So we've helped about 150 of them to register their businesses. We also helped them with standard board authorization issues, as well as food and drugs authorization issues.
For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
And that's business for now. More coming up at the top of the hour. Up next, sports.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the sports segment with me, Oreko Ampofo, Group Chief Executive of Data Bank and football analyst Kojo Dimensa has urged coach of the Black Stars, Sika Akono, to openly declare to Ghanaians any interference he has had from the Ghana Football Association with regard to his team selection, as well as resign if there has been any interference.
Look, I have defended every Ghanaian coach vehemently. If you have followed me, you will know how much I backed KEJETIA. And it's not about the individual. For me, it is about if we cannot get a top-notch European coach at $120,000, $200,000 type coach, then we might as well just use our local coaches and give them the exposure, the opportunity, and the time. That is my argument. Rather than bring what I call PE teachers from Croatia and Zagreb and all that and come and pay them $50,000. That's CK. For crying out loud, the rumor is there. And in fact, Kurt also alluded to the fact that you do not pick the team 100% on your own. If that is the case, it must stop. Because now that they are calling for your head, nobody is calling for the FA's head. Everybody is pointing to you, CK. But rumor has it that you are not picking the team 100%. Why should that be the case? I think CK will even earn more respect if he comes out to say the FA is not allowing me to pick my team 100%, and as a result, I walk. He will earn the biggest respect in this country.
Well, concerning Sika Akono, we know that there's a meeting today for the Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association, and an agenda on the list is to discuss the future of Sika Akono. So if there is any news coming out of that meeting, we'll be providing you updates on that on Joy Sports. As also, do make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook and myjoyonline/sports.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News. Now, multiple award-winning gospel musician Joe Mettle says the media drags many artists in the name of showbiz. In an interview with Andy Dusty on Daybreak Hits, Joe Mettle said the media sometimes spread negative rumors about celebrities before digging for facts of the matter. This, he says, goes a long way to destroy the reputation of the stars.
The last time I had like a really nice conversation with Don. We had, especially with the family ones. I'm like, Charlie, we'll be like, you see, say me, like me, I'm in this, so I understand how these things, But then you punch like Obiba JK. Like now, punching the side. Sometimes it's a lot, and especially when you put all those things down and you realize first of all, when the person says it and realizes it's not true, they never fix it. They just leave it there. So one time I was sharing with someone. We went somewhere to play a gig, and then when they typed the person's name, like the kind of stuff that came up, they were like, then they started giving excuses. Even me, it's happened to me before. There was an event like that, and then that time there were rumors of things of my family, and the people, based on some of these rumors, they started giving excuses. They didn't say no, but they didn't come back.
Now, musician Jackie has revealed telling love stories is a stronghold. In an interview on E-Vibes, the Love is Pretty hitmaker told me how she easily flows when writing love songs.
Yeah, the name of the song was my idea. Okay. Yeah, because that was the chorus. Love is pretty, can't you see? So I just used that as the title.
Were you dating your friend or
no,
the one recording?
The producer, yeah. Nah, none of that sort. Nothing at all. And it's sometimes it's overwhelming for me myself how I'm able to write love songs. Okay. Do you understand? Although I'm not in a relationship yet. Okay. Do you understand? So I would just classify that as part of the talent. Let's just say love stories are my stronghold. Do you understand? There are some artists too who are really good with songs that are inspirational. Yeah. Some are also very good with songs that are for, you know, just partying and all that. So I would say my stronghold is love stories.
Wow.
Yeah. When I'm writing love songs, the lyrics flow easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for Joy News today. Thank you for spending the hour with me. My name is Mama Vioso Abuaji. Do log on to myjoyonline.com. Remember, wherever you go, to mask up. Bye for now.